right? 777 in the chat. If you guys can actually see my screen. Um, Definitely want to start off the call by saying that you guys can read the title right here. We're starting off with the 12 universal laws. Drop a seven if you know the 12 universal laws. Like, let me see something real quick. Drop a seven if you know the 12 universal laws. I just want to kind of see who's maybe aware of this type of stuff already. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine. If you do, shit, you probably don't even, remember every single one, so you probably want to still take notes on everything that I'm about to go over. Now, first thing I want you guys to understand before we actually get started is that this is going to be a deeper understanding, an even deeper understanding than the law of attraction, right? It's an even deeper understanding than the law of attraction, right? You guys are probably familiar of the law of attraction, right? Something that, we always hear. The law of attraction is the most popular law that we know of. You feel what I'm saying? Most popular law that we know of that can actually help you to attract the things that you want in life. You feel what I'm saying? But this is actually a deeper connection than the law of attraction, right? This will help you break down. It will help you break down this law. Like, how many of us have heard of the law of attraction? Drop a three in the chat, right? But you kind of feel like, damn, like you know it, but like it's hard for you to actually create it sometimes. It's hard for you to actually make it happen for yourself. It's hard for you to actually attract the things that you truly want. You know, this is gonna help you guys really to do that. It's gonna really put it into principles. It's really gonna break it down in 12 easy ways. Now, I believe that there's more than actually these 12 laws to life, but these are just 12 universal laws that's gonna help you guys out. And these principles are gonna help you guys out in every aspect of life, in success, in relationships, in business, with family, with everything that you do in life, sports. These laws are going to actually help you out because at the end of the day, everything is one. You know what I mean? So it all goes together with everything in life. So make sure you guys are taking notes as I stated. Starting off with the first one, we got the law of divine oneness. The law of divine oneness. Um, this law really just kind of states that all things are connected. We are all one. That's why I always say that at the end of my calls, take care of yourself because at the end of the day, the more that you're taking care of yourself, you're really just taking care of me because we are one. We're all actually connected to each other because we're all life and life is energy. Life is energy. Life comes in one source because energy is one source. So as much as it sounds crazy, you're just as much connected to me as I'm as, connected to, let's say, a tree or a plant or, an animal. Like all these things are all energy, right? It's all one. So we are actually affecting each other with what we do, how we speak, what we say, and how we think. You feel me? So everything connects to everything else, and that's why, when you're feeling bad, somebody else might be feeling bad. Or when you're not having a good day, all of a sudden somebody else not having a good day. It's like, damn, you feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, how I look at it is like the universe is a living organism. It continues to give and it continues to create. It continues to have cycles like the seasons of the year. It continues to have its things that it goes through. You feel me? And if we give to the universe, then the universe is then gonna give to us. You feel what I'm saying? Like the more that we give back to the universe, the more that it's gonna go ahead and give back to us. That's why it's important that you gotta give from your heart. That's why it's important that you gotta do good deeds, right? One thing that I don't like to do, I don't really like to litter. You feel me? Like even being from New York, I'll be transparent. When I'm in New York, I litter. Like I ain't gonna lie. You feel me? Like I litter in New York. You feel me? Because New York is bad. You know what I'm saying? It's all street anyway. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm around anywhere else, I just can't litter. Like I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not something that I like to do. I choose to actually put something in the trash where it belongs. Things like that. Like I like to do that good deed. I like to make sure that if I can help somebody, I'll do it. If I got an extra dollar, I'll give it out. You know what I'm saying? Because the universe is watching. It's not like a shit. I'm doing good for me. Like I know the universe is gonna give back for me in a way that I couldn't even imagine at that point. You feel me? So that's why I always like to do good deeds because I understand that everything is one, divine oneness. Right. So that's the first law. Second law we're gonna dive into. And if I'm going too fast at any time, if y'all need me to slow down, go back, definitely let me know. Because I do want y'all to get this. I don't want this to be something that I'm just going through, speeding through. I do want y'all to get this. So whether y'all got to take a screenshot, whether y'all got to write as I talk, right? Definitely let me know. But Second one we got is the law of vibration. Everything is energy. As I kind of stated in the last slide, everything is energy. You match the frequency of the energy that you want, and you will end up actually receiving that energy back. The more that you actually go ahead and match the frequency of something that you desire, you're going to actually receive that back. How many of us ever played sports before, and when you was in the game and you played hard yourself, all of a sudden the other team started just playing hard? Drop a 7 in the chat, right? When you had a certain type of chip on your shoulder, all of a sudden the other team just started having a chip on their shoulder. You feel me? Like they just started to give you that same energy back. Or let's just switch it up. Let's say you started to be disrespectful towards somebody, right? You started to be disrespectful towards somebody that you know. Maybe y'all used to be cool. All of a sudden, they start being disrespectful back. You know what I'm saying? They matched the frequency that you was on, right? You're matching the frequency of what you was wanting to attract at that point. You're going to receive the energy that you're putting out, right? Everything as far as sound, thoughts, and feelings has a unique frequency. So you got to know how to be aware of your feelings and focus on the frequency to the life that you desire. Right? Your focus on negative things or your focus on positive things will attract in your life. So no matter what, you focus on the negative, you're gonna get the negative. You focus on the positive, you're gonna get the positive, right? These are all little things that we kind of understand and hear, but these are things that's gonna help you guys break it really down for yourself. If your goal is to attract wealth, you need to act as if you already got it, right? You got to enjoy the feeling of it in the non-physical to attract it to the physical. So you got to already be on that vibration if in order for that vibration to actually be here. That's why one of my favorite quotes, my favorite lines is that your mind has to arrive at a destination before you do. You got to already be there before it's actually here, if that makes sense. So if you already see yourself as a person that got a six-pack that's already ripped, you're in your best shape of your life, shit, you got to be moving like that. What would the best shape of your life you be doing right now? How many times a day would they be working out? What type of foods would they be eating? You feel me? Like, just think about what type of people you would be around. Like, you being in the best shape of your life, would you really be around a bunch of people that's overweight? So it's just like little stuff like that. You got to be there before you're there. And don't get wrapped up in the how. A lot of people just get wrapped up in how it's going to get done. Just know that it's done, right? Just know that it's actually going to happen for your life, right? The how doesn't matter, right? The how does not matter. Getting into the third one, we got the law of attraction, right? The law of attraction. When you receive guidance on things, I'm sorry, a law of action. A law of action, right? When you receive guidance on things, right, you must take action on it. So what does that mean? When you get like that certain urge that you should be doing something, you should be doing it, right? If it feels good and you're enthusiastic about it, then that means you're receiving that guidance to go pursue it, right? And what I really mean by that is when you actually know that, yo, like, I feel like, yo, I should be doing things productively, or I should be doing productive things with my life, then you should be doing it. Like, if you get that feeling of, man, I got to be productive, you should be being productive, you know? Like, it shouldn't be a hard thing. Like, once you get that feeling, it's telling you to act on it, right? The number one thing is that we just have to be more in tune with ourselves and listen to ourselves. You have all the answer for yourself. A lot of times we look for outside sources for our answers, but all your answers actually come within, right? You don't really have to worry about, somebody else telling you what to do. You got to tell yourself what to do sometimes, right? Especially if you're operating at the right frequency for yourself, especially if you're moving in a certain type of way to better yourself, especially if you're looking to actually put yourself in a great position in life. If things seem like a burden or if it seems confusing, then something isn't right. You're better off waiting for you to have some type of clarity on the situation again before acting upon it, you know? And a lot of these things, believe it or not, even I go through, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the beauty of life, because sometimes you don't have everything all figured out. But the good thing is, if you're working towards figuring it out, you'll get the answers in different ways than you actually really thought about imagining. You know, you'll get the answers through people, you'll get the answers through experiences, and you'll get the answers to sometimes through yourself, right? Sometimes through actually just putting in the time, through the work. But it's beauty in everything that you receive, and you just got to be grateful for every single moment of it. You know what I mean? We not might not know what we want, but excuse me, it's supposed to say we might not know what we want. It's because we're too afraid to take action because we're scared, doubtful, or we're double guessing, right? If you're scared, doubtful, or double guessing, that's the reason why you're not getting the things that you may want. Follow your intuition, take actions on your desires, and kind of like I said before, forget about the how, just know that is done. But in order to start taking action, action starts in the mind. You got to know that you want to do it first, right? You got to hear yourself saying that you want to do it first, you know? So there's certain things that somebody else might tell me to do, but I might be listening to myself like, nah, I ain't doing that. Cause I gotta see myself doing it first. So that's a lot of things I gotta do in life. I gotta see myself doing it first. I gotta hear myself actually saying like, yeah, I'd actually want to do that. You feel what I'm saying? But that's number 3, man, the law of action. Number 4, moving on to the next one we got is the law of correspondence. As above, so below, right? Law of correspondence, as above, so below. How you think and feel on the inside brings about your reality. You know, how you feel within is how you're going to feel outside. Most people think that the outside world is not an effect of what they're feeling inside because we're taught that everything takes place outside of us, right? We're taught that everything takes place outside of ourselves. But your relationship, your job, your happiness, your career, your sports, your results in life is all reflected on how you feel inside. It's all a reflection, right? Everything is all a reflection. How you look in the mirror is a reflection of how you feel about yourself inside. Your relationship with certain people in your life is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. In order for you to actually change some of these things within your reality, you got to change your perspective, right? You got to change your perspective on reality. You see, sometimes we don't do certain things at the highest capabilities because we don't give ourselves enough credit on how truly powerful that we are. You know, sometimes we might limit ourselves. Sometimes we might say, I don't really know if I could bench this much. I don't really know if I could run this fast. I don't really know if I could pull this girl. I don't really know if I could be this successful. Like $1 million, I ain't never seen that around me. How can I do it? But sometimes we don't really give ourselves enough credit on how powerful we truly are. So we eliminate ourselves by having limiting beliefs. We eliminate ourselves by having limiting beliefs. So what are limiting beliefs, right? Being doubtful, being fearful, not thinking you're good enough, um, thinking you're not worthy, thinking that someone else is a better option. Like all these things are limiting beliefs. You feel me? These are beliefs that you have that are limiting you. So once you eliminate your beliefs, you just change your perception. Once you change your perception, you'll start to change your reality. Because now that you changed how you feel about things inside, it will start to reflect on the people, the experiences, the money that you start to have outside. Right? If this is making sense so far, and you guys is getting some type of knowledge so far, I want you guys to drop in the Discord. CJ's going over some source, right? I don't even want you to drop it in the chat. I want you to drop in the Discord. CJ's going over some source because, you know, it happens all the time. You feel me? Somebody doesn't hop on the call. They think that, you know, shit, it's going to be some regular stuff. But we walking into 2023 at the end of the day, like it's fourth quarter. I told somebody the other day, I said, yo, listen, I'm not playing around with the things I'm about to teach to the squad because I feel like they deserve it. Feel me? Like I feel like they deserve to know how to get to the next level. Like they deserve to be special. They deserve to be confident in themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like they deserve to feel how I feel. And I'm gonna give them every single inch of knowledge that I have to make sure that they do. You feel me? So if y'all feel like y'all giving y'all some sauce right now, make sure y'all go in the Discord and say that CJ dropping some sauce. Moving on to the next one, number 5, we got is, and I love how y'all do that. Every single time y'all do that, y'all understand that there's new people that join the waiting room. Like I love when y'all do that every single time. New people join the waiting room, right? But with that being said, number 5, we got law of cause and effect, right? Law of cause and effect, right? Um, you're in charge of your process. I want you to understand that, like, you're in charge of your process. Um, at the end of the day, I always like to say you're the architect of your reality. You feel me? You're the architect of your reality. So you're in charge of your process. You're in charge of everything that you want to attract, right? You attract what you believe you're worthy for, right? You attract your self-worth, right? So a lot of times people put themselves in bad situations because they don't realize their self-worth. You know, like some people put themselves in terrible situations. And I'm just like, yo, like that just shows how like your self-worthiness, like you feel that you're not worthy of more. That's why you don't even want more. But that's why you're okay and accepting of where you're at. And I just, always try to tell people like really just evaluate what you value for yourself. Evaluate what you value for yourself, right? What's your self-worth? You see, if you're in a bad financial position right now, I want you to understand that you attracted it with your income beliefs. The way you believe about money, the way you think about money, it's because the way you have your money set up right now is because of the way you was thinking about money in the past, right? You didn't have no principles when it came to money, right? Even if you knew that money was important, you didn't think it was important enough to invest it. Even if you thought money was important, you didn't think it was important enough to put it into a savings account, right? You thought it was more important to use it on clothes. You thought it was more important to use it on shoes, right? You thought it was more important to use it on bottles. You feel me? And I done been through all those phases. So it's like, if you really had a better financial game plan or a better financial belief, or excuse me, a better income belief, you would be in a better financial position without a doubt. No matter who you are, no matter where you're at. You feel me? So you got to face your feelings on areas that make you unhappy. So I'm going to pause that right there before I even get into the next part of that sentence, right? You got to face your feelings on the areas that make you unhappy. A lot of times we like to just skip over the things that's making us unhappy in life. You feel me? We like to just skip it over, or we just like to deal with it. But at the end of the day, we didn't even heal with it. Shit. Oh man, I'm gonna have to write that down as a bar. You feel me, Taiwan? I'm gonna have to write that one down. I said, at the end of the day, when we going through things, right, we just know how to deal with it. You feel me? But we don't know how to heal with it, right? You haven't healed yet with what you're going through. You feel me? You haven't healed with those unhappy feelings, those unhappy things that go through your life. You know what I'm saying? You haven't healed with that. So you got to sometimes face your feelings. You got to sometimes sit in the corner. You got to sometimes not talk to everybody. You got to sometimes not be around, you feel me, so many people. And you got to face the things that's really not sitting right with your soul. And you got to really come to understanding of maybe why it happened and understanding of how you're going to move accordingly from it in order to feel better about yourself. And after you do that, you got to focus on what you do want in order to help it build. You got to focus on what you do want to attract in order to actually have that happen, because law of cause and effect, whatever you actually want, you're going to have to cause it in order to have it be an effect. But before you actually have it be in a cause, you got to understand why you want it. You got to understand what direction you want to put yourself through, right? So like cause and effect, like really think about every single situation of life that you do. Like what is the cause and effect of you playing video games all day? What is the cause and effect of you smoking all day? What is the cause and effect of you being on social media all day? Like what is that? What are you causing that's having a certain effect? Like you picking up that phone, being on social media all day, that's the cause. And what is the effect now? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we got to go back and reevaluate those things. and send out to others what you want to attract, right? Cause and effect. If I send love, what's the effect? I'm probably going to receive it. If I send happiness, what's the effect? I'm probably going to receive it. If I send education to, you feel me, 20, 25 plus people on a call, what's the receive? What am I going to probably receive? More education, more knowledge. Feel me? So send out what you want to attract. You know what I mean? Send out what you want to attract. Um, Number 6, we got law of compensation. Now, law of compensation, this law is the reflection, or excuse me, this law is the reaction of the universe when we apply the previous law. When we put the previous law together, this is where we actually go ahead and we get the universe's response from the law of cause and effect. So we could receive in compensation in many different ways. You're getting compensated. So you could receive compensation in a positive way, or you could receive compensation in a negative way, right? It's all depending on what we send out. You see, your compensation can end up in money. Your compensation can end up in well-being. Your compensation can end up in good health. Your compensation can end up in good relationships, but your compensation also can end up in bad thoughts. Your compensation could end up also in negative situations in life. Your compensation also can end up in doubtful moments. You feel me? So your compensation could come in any shape, form, or factor. Your compensation could come in a form of a person. That's when it gets bad. When your compensation comes in the form of a negative person, or a person that has no real meaning or value to yourself, right? To your life, but you're just blinded. You feel me? So your compensation could come in many different ways, but it all comes out of what you send out. So if you want to track something like abundance, right? Abundance comes out of response of our good deeds. You feel me? You can attract an abundance of wealth through the good deeds that you put out, right? All those long nights, all those early mornings, all those servant leader moments, all those leaders eat last moments that you've had, all those times where you had to take the back end for somebody else to take the front end, all those times where you didn't look like the man, even though you might have been the man in the situation, all in all. Those are the things that might track the ultimate level of abundance for you, that you probably just don't even know how it happened, but it ended up happening. That's where you have a viral video hit 2 million views, and now you just jump from 700 followers to 8,000 followers in a matter of 2 days, right? That's when you have all of a sudden you drop an ebook for $30 and it's consistently been doing you about 200 a month. All of a sudden you have a $20,000 month. Like, that's when that abundance thing comes. You feel me? That's when that abundance comes. So you got to really just make sure that you're responding with life with good deeds in order to receive something like abundance. Like, that's what I always strive for. Like, I always strive for abundance because I always put out good deeds. Like, I always make sure to put out good deeds. And be grateful for your negative feelings because they show you how you're vibrating. Right now, if you feeling negative, be grateful for that because it's showing you where you're at right now. It's showing you where you have to grow from, right? Once you get compensation from this, it will start to ease up and you will become free, right? Excuse me, once you become compassionate from this, it will start to ease up and you'll become free. So once you actually become compassionate of where you're at in life, you'll start to ease up on that. You know what I'm saying? You'll start to actually be okay with it and you'll start to become free. And when you're free, you can now be free enough to send out what you want in order to receive more of it, because now you're operating at a different frequency. Before, you was operating at that frequency of negativity, but you became passionate about it. You became compassionate, I should say. And now you became a lot more free. That free vibration got you here. And at that here vibration, this is where you're able to put out more into life and receive more out of it. So this is the law of compensation. Moving on to the next one, we got the law of attraction. Now, this is the most famous law, right? I've seen a lot of sevens get dropped when this one came out. So a lot of people are kind of familiar with the law of attraction. This is where, all energies will attract similar energies. Whatever energy vibration you're operating on, you're bound to attract similarities of it. If you're operating at a frequency of gratefulness, right, at a frequency of gratitude, you're probably going to attract more frequencies that are operated at a frequency of gratitude, right? When you're grateful, That frequency right there is like one of the highest frequencies you can have of life, because all the little things matter to you, right? Even the things like, being able to have feet, being able to walk, being able to talk, being able to educate. When you have gratitude for those things, so much more little things actually start to build up your life for you to have even more gratitude for those things. So whatever beliefs you hold on right now will be attracted in your life circumstances. So if you believe, honestly, if you honestly believe that, you know, everything happens for a reason, everything will happen for a reason. Like if you honestly believe that karma comes to everybody, then karma will come to everybody. Like whatever beliefs you hold on to right now, you will attract it in your life circumstances. So as much as we hate to hear it, but all experiences are because of our thinking. As much as we hate to hear it, any experience that you probably been through in life that was like traumatic and kind of like crazy, or it was kind of like, damn, how'd that happen? Like, it's probably because of your experiences, or your thinking, or it's probably because of somebody else around you's thinking. Sometimes you're just around the wrong thinking. Like, how many times have you probably got pulled over, or like, let's say, you had an issue with the cops and you was around friends versus when you was around yourself. Drop a 3 in the chat. Like, I don't know about y'all. I never really had an issue with cops by myself, but like I sometimes would have issue with cops around certain friends. It's like it was never by myself. Like it was never like a by myself thing. I operated at too high of a frequency. But then when I was around certain people and we was doing different things, now we got a whole bunch of different thinking going on. I don't even know how they thinking. They probably thinking like, damn, I hope the cops don't come the whole time. And next thing you know, that's where they ended up being, right? You see, we cannot change the world, but we can change our perception. You feel me? You can't change everything that happens, but you could change your perception on how you feel about it. You could change how you feel about it. And the number one thing you could do in order to attract the things that you want in life is to hold together the story of your ideal life in the present moment. So the most powerful thing that you can actually say before every single sentence you say is I am. Because I am is a manifestation. I am is an affirmation, right? I am is literally an affirmation. So once you say I am, whatever you say after that, you're literally putting together magic words at that point. So I am a millionaire. I am abundant. I am grateful. Like whatever you're putting together after that, that's one of the most powerful phrases you could start with any sentence, because that is the beginning of attraction, because you're putting together your life with the present moment. As my dog just walks into my room, as you see my door opens, my dog just walks into my room. You feel me? That's how my dog moves. Don't even say what's up, just walks into the room. You feel me? Um, but number 8, right? Number 8. um Law of perpetual transmutation of energy, right? Law of perpetual transmutation of energy. You see, we have the ability to change our lives and conditions at any moment, right? We have the ability to change our lives and conditions at any moment. So when you higher your vibration, you change the conditions of your life, right? Higher vibrational energy consumes low vibrational energy. So if you don't like your situation, all you got to do is rearrange your thinking, right? Rearrange the way you think and start going with that flow. Watch what happens when you actually start to rearrange how you think and look about life. You know, that'll start to change the things that you actually have in it, and embrace change in order to actually allow new circumstances to manifest. So you got to embrace, you know, the changes in your life. You got to embrace the fact that you cut your hair. You feel me? Like you got to embrace the fact that you're no longer in the same state. You got to embrace the fact that you're no longer around the same people. You're no longer doing the same things, right? Embrace that, because a change allows new circumstances to manifest. And sometimes those circumstances is even better than the ones you're in now. So until you become the master of your life, you will always attract all sorts of circumstances, whether they're positive, whether they're negative, whether they're positive people, whether it's negative people. But if you focus on the positive and you don't cancel out those positive thoughts with negative vibes, you'll consistently grow. Because sometimes you'll tell yourself, man, I'm about to ace this test. But then that second thought later goes, no, you're not. You're not even that smart though. You just had a positive thought, but you just killed it with a negative vibe. And it all came from you. You feel what I'm saying? Drop a 7 in the chat if that makes sense, right? Drop a 7 in the chat if that makes sense. Like, you might say to yourself, like, yo, I'm really gonna become a millionaire. But then you might say to yourself, how you gonna do that? You come from this type of household. Like, you saying this to yourself. You canceled out a positive thought with a negative vibe. So you got to consistently choose the positive, right? And I always tell people this, just do it for 30 days. Like, really try for 30 days, really try for 90 days. Like, try to be positive for 90 days. Like, you might just be a little bit of a negative person and you starting to realize that. Like, sometimes what comes out your mouth is negative. Like, and you sometimes don't even know. It's just like a subconscious thing. It's unconscious competence of how you do it. But now I want you to be more aware of everything, right? Have a positive outlook on every situation, even if you have no type of studying, there's no chance, even if there's only like a 1% chance, I want you to always choose that positive, because I want you to see how just by you raising that vibration to a positive vibration, how that will start to change the conditions of your life and how it will start to change the moments that you have in life. So definitely, this is one of the more important laws, one of my favorite laws. Moving on to number 9, we got the law of relativity. Um, law of relativity, right? We only got a few more. Um, Law of relativity, right? Every soul will face some challenges. This is another one of my favorites because I realize this. I realize that I'm not the only person in life that's going to experience something. I'm not the only person in life that's going to go through things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to go through things just like somebody like Giancarlo got to go through things. I got to go through things just like someone like China got to go through things. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, we got to go through some things in life, right? There's no one person that doesn't go through something. Some people go through things at a higher scale than others. Some people go through things at a lower scale than others. But at the end of the day, there's challenges that we all have to face. And it's not about the challenges that you face. It's about what you do with the challenges that defines and determines what you'll become. You feel what I'm saying? So because of who you're supposed to become, you might be getting certain challenges in your life. And it's all about what you do about it that will determine the person that you are, right? Use life's challenges as a stepping stone. Don't use it as a stumbling block. You feel me? So use it to help build you. Don't use it to pull you down, right? Don't say, why did it happen to me? Instead, say, how is this happening for me? Like, what is this trying to teach me? Or what is this trying to help me gain, right? Don't lose that awareness of the bright light we carry within ourselves, right? Over a few little mishaps or circumstances or downfalls, right? You might take a couple of L's and think that that's the end of the world. But at the end of the day, those L's are so small compared to what it has planned out for your life that's so big. So don't lose the awareness of the bright light that you carry within yourself over a few circumstances. Have a big connection between you and your purpose, right? Have a big connection between you and your purpose. Um, and at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, you probably just survived all of your hardest battles already, right? I want you to think about a time where you went through something bad, like you went through something hard to swallow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you went through a bad experience. Drop a 3 in the chat if you survived that moment, right? Drop a 3 in the chat if that's behind you now. Like, drop a 3 in the chat if you're past that. You feel me? Like, you survived all your hardest hits. So at the end of the day, everything moving forward, you understand now that, okay, bet, like, that wasn't even supposed to be something to hurt me. It was actually supposed to be something to build me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it was actually supposed to help me in my life. You feel me? So the law of relativity, every soul must face some challenges, right? Number 10, we got the law of polarity. Um, Two more, and then we out of here, man. Law of number 10, law of polarity, right? Everything in the universe has its opposites. Everything in the universe has a polar opposite. you wouldn't know what good food tasted like if you didn't have bad food. Like you wouldn't know what a good person is for your life if you didn't experience bad people. You wouldn't know what a good book is if you haven't read a bad book. So everything in the universe has opposites for a reason, right? The reality you focus on will most likely spawn upon itself, right? I'm looking at that. I spelled reality wrong. I spelled a lot of things wrong in here. I don't know if y'all been noticing, but I spelled a lot of things wrong in here. I'm looking back like, damn, CJ, like you ain't spelled shit right. I'm looking at typically, like that shit says typically, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't spelled nothing right. But like I always say, I don't get paid to spell, I get paid to count. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like to, you feel me? I just count the money. That's it. But damn, should tell him to close the door. Give me 1 second, family. I'm about to close this door. But law of polarity, man. Law of polarity. This is a good one as well, right? Even when a certain moment can have many outcomes, right? When you have a certain moment in life that can have many outcomes, the more that you focus on the positive, that will typically happen. If you focus on the negative, that will typically happen. So in a certain moment of life where it can have many different outcomes, the moment of positivity or negativity, that will happen based off if you actually focus on it. Right? Think of a moment when a perceived negative event ended up being the best thing that ever happened to your life. Right? Think of a time where something negative possibly happened and it ended up actually being the best thing that happened for your life. You know what I mean? For example, I don't know about y'all, but I was supposed to graduate, you know what I'm saying, of June of 2020. I was supposed to go to a prom in 2020. And a lot of people were saying to me, yo, that's the worst thing that could ever happen. Like, I'm so sorry for you. Like, you didn't even get to enjoy your prom, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't even have a real graduation, yada yada yada. But like, I had to realize, like, yo, this is like a once in a lifetime thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't no like the people next year, they went to prom, they went to graduation. You feel me? Like, they did all that. But this 1 year where I'm supposed to graduate, I ain't go through all these things that I'm supposed to go through. Right? I got the pandemic hitting. So I said to myself, I had to be like, yo, at the end of the day, this might be a negative event in the moment, but this is probably the best thing that's supposed to happen for me. And I realized that while the pandemic was happening, I said, this is supposed to happen for me. Like, this ain't no coincidence. Feel me? Like, they had to stop the class of 2020. They had to stop me, Josh, AJ. Like, they had to stop us from where we was going in life, because at the end of the day, it was only supposed to help us to be where we're at today. You know what I mean? Like, I came across trading during the pandemic. I started taking my life serious during the pandemic. I cut off a lot of people during the pandemic. I had a lot of downtime to focus on a skill set like trading during the pandemic. So like, without that, I wouldn't even have a lot of what I had today. And I remember very well, it was a day where I was learning how to trade. You know, I seen what the charts could do. I was watching videos of people making M's off trading. And I said to myself, yo, like, I don't know, like, why I never knew about this, but I promise you, the fact that I do know about this, this is going to change my life, right? This is going to change my life. And I can easily say from there on, it has definitely changed my life to many factors, you know, like being able to show y'all what's up, like being able to teach y'all the game, like even just that. Like, there was a time where there was nobody listening to me. Like, sometimes I have to go back to those days and really like humble myself. Like, there was the time where there was nobody on a Zoom call with me. Like, there was nobody watching a video of mine. There was nobody really engaging with my Instagram. I was one of the only people with 1,500 followers getting 40 likes. You feel me? Like, I ain't had nobody liking my pictures. I ain't had nobody liking my videos. But over the course of time, all that stuff started to align. So in the moment of 2020, that might have seemed like a perceived negative moment, but it probably was the best thing that could have happened for my life because of how serious I started to take myself. So sometimes, from our limited perspective, we cannot see what's serving us. You feel me? Like sometimes our perspective is too limited to see what's actually doing good for us. That's when the universe removes us from certain situations or circumstances that we're not aligned with. But if we want our lives to change, sometimes we must remove what doesn't serve us to make room for greater. So start saying yes to that change. You feel what I'm saying? Like start saying yes to that different mode, different move, different atmosphere of your life. A lot of times we fear change, and it's probably going to come up in the next one. But a lot of times we fear change because at the end of the day, change is something that is different. And sometimes we attach and we string ourselves to what we're familiar with because what we're familiar with is what's comfortable. But what's the start of any type of change in life, right? What's the start of any type of change in life? Any type of change in life requires you to get uncomfortable. So sometimes you got to embrace that change and start saying yes to that change in your life. But moving on to number 11, we got the law of rhythm, right? The law of rhythm. All energy vibrates and moves at its own rhythm, right? Music moves at its own rhythm, right? Wealth moves at its own rhythm. Like if you've ever been in a fast car, like if you ever really been in like a Lambo or a Rolls Royce, like that frequency is different than the frequency of like a Tesla. You feel me? Like that frequency is different than the frequency of like a Mercedes. Like, don't get me wrong, those are good high frequency cars too. But like, yo, you ever really been in a Lambo? Like, you ever really been in a Rolls Royce? Like, those cars move at a different frequency of rhythm. You feel me? Like, you got to learn to harmonize with the frequencies of what you wish to seek and attract. Like, after being in a Lambo, like smelling a Lambo, like I remember my mentor once told me, like, yo, like at the end of the day, like it's one thing to say that you want a car like a Lambo. It's one thing to want a car like a Rolls Royce, but it's another when you actually sit in it. It's another to actually like be inside of it. It's another to actually smell it. Like it's another to actually feel the leather. Like I remember the feeling of me getting in a lamb truck for the first time. Like I still remember that feeling. You feel me? Like it's like different. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not in a Honda. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't remember the first time getting in a Honda, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not because I've been in a lot of Hondas. It's just like, I just don't remember that feeling because it's the frequency it was on. It wasn't on a frequency to remember. That lamb truck, that Rolls Royce, that's a different frequency. You feel me? Like, it's different when you're in the car. It's like, yo, I gotta have it. Like, I gotta have a lamb truck. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in it and I know what it's like. You know what I mean? Like I gotta have a Rolls Royce. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta have it. I ain't gonna really drive the Rolls Royce. I don't have no aspirations to drive it. I'm just gonna be in the back seat. But I gotta have the Rolls Royce. You feel me? Because I done been in it. You know what I'm saying? So you maintain a higher frequency and a sense of connection through meditation. You know what I mean? The more that you meditate on things, the more that you meditate with your life, it's going to help you to increase your frequency and have a higher sense of connection. Um, and like I was saying before, we're all usually scared and resisting change because we're scared of the unknown, but the unknown can actually hold the most potential for your life. There's actually beauty in the unknown. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when you walk into certain places, do certain things, and you have no idea what you're going through or what's about to happen, there's actually sometimes a lot of beauty through it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't actually came through a lot of great situations, met a lot of great people through going into places that I had no idea where I was going. I had no idea what I was doing, but it was beauty in the unknown. You see, the sooner that you embrace and accept change, the sooner that you could transcend to be in a more graceful period. It's supposed to say graceful. Um, the sooner that you can embrace and accept change, the sooner you could transcend to a more grateful or graceful period, right? But in order to do this, you must first make peace with your current situation, right? So you got to make peace with where you're at. You got to make peace with what you've done. You got to make peace with the decisions that you've made. You got to make peace with the bad things, the good things, just where you're at. You got to make peace with that in order for you to actually embrace and accept some type of change for your life. Um, And finally, moving on to the 12th and the last law is the law of gender, right? Once again, nigga CJ cannot spell, but the law of gender, right? Everything has a feminine and masculine energy, right? Everything has a feminine and masculine energy. The feminine, the yin energy, the masculine, the yang energy, right? Everything has a feminine and masculine energy, right? Um, when you master the feminine and masculine energy within us, that's when you can actually achieve self-mastery. You know, when you master that feminine and masculine energy within yourself, that's when you can actually achieve self-mastery, right? Our thoughts are ruled by these same laws. We actually have feminine thoughts and we actually have masculine thoughts. So when you actually master the masculine and feminine side of your thoughts, this is when you actually can master your mindset. You can master your thought process, right? And this is something that's crucial in order for us to achieve our goals, because all of our goals have what you can kind of classify as masculine and feminine traits in order to actually obtain them. For example, you might need that masculinity of determination to attain your goals, to attain your thoughts, your goals, right? But you might need that femininity of patience or trust in order to also attain your goals. So this all coexists together, right? When you master the masculine and feminine side within yourself, you are now creating a space for you to master the feminine and masculine side within your mind. And now you're creating a space to attract and achieve anything that you want, because you understand why you got to love. You understand why you got to be determined. You understand why you got to be patient, but you also understand why you got to be compassionate. You also understand why you got to be hungry, but you also understand why you also got to be caring. You feel me? So there's a masculine and feminine side to yourself that you got to master. So if you're always too hard, at the end of the day, that's cool, but like you might halt yourself from a lot of great things that might come into your life because you're too busy blocking your blessings. You feel me? Like I had to do that. I had to start blocking my blessings. You know, like I was being too hard in situations where I just needed to be a little soft. But like then sometimes maybe you was being a little soft and that's what made you want to be hard. But at the end of the day, you can't block your blessings because of past experiences. You always got to just embrace and be passionate with the change and understand how to master yourself. And with these 12 laws, these isn't things that you just want to write down. Like if you just wrote these down, cool. But these ain't things that you just want to write down. You really want to evaluate them. You feel me? Like you want to sit down with yourself, you know, really like sit down and really look at each of them and be like, okay, where am I at with the law of gender? Where am I at with the law of polarity? You feel me? Like, where am I at? Like, do I understand this? How can I see this through experiences of my life? Right? Like, can I relate this to something in my life? And like, how have I acted then? And how will I act moving forward? You feel me? Where's my vibration at? Do I have limiting beliefs? You feel me? Like, you might have to really sit down with yourself in order to actually grow from learning all this, because that's how you're going to actually hit a next level of your life, because you're actually doing that self inner understanding in order to have and attract the things that you want. So remember, your outside reflects your inner world, right? Your inner world reflects what you get on the outside and your experiences and relationships and circumstances that you have within your life. So I need a little drink of water after that. I need a little drink of water after that. But if y'all got some sauce today, man, drop a 7 in the chat. Right? If y'all got some sauce today, man, drop a 7 in the chat. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We was on here for a nice little hour. But if y'all really got some sauce, I want y'all to drop one thing that you guys learned today, right? One thing that you guys learned today, and actually post it on your story, you know what I'm saying? Show some love, you know what I'm saying? Tag me with one thing that you guys actually learned today, one of the laws that you guys are going to go ahead and implement within your life, one of the quotes that you're going to go ahead and implement within your life. I want you guys to definitely go ahead and tag me, spread the awareness, you feel me? And with that being said, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. make sure you guys take care of yourself. The more you take care of yourself, you're really taking care of me because we are one. With that being said, I'm gonna see you guys from the top or at the top. The only time we ever look down is to help bring y'all up. And y'all know where to find me. You can find me at the beach. You can find me at the bank. Let's get it.